And the first item on the agenda, I guess, would be to vote on the last minutes.
Do we have those?
I didn't print my copy.
But I didn't.
I got you covered.
You got some? I usually do. I did print the agenda.
Lucky to get in the door and back out it. I mean, you know.
Thank you.
Sir, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Missing you at the farmer's market. We kinda got used to you being up there.
I moved to Central. It's a little.
You've just left us.
Well, I did, after I'll print those and I've looked at them.
No.
So they have done more than just that.
All right, y'all review the minutes right quick.
What's his last name? Thornton. They been coming out there to the.
Not lately. Not the last couple of Saturdays.
I think they about run out of stuff too. Trying to find. I have a correction.
Yes, ma'am.
David, in the public comment section,
Mm-hmm.
David's last name is spelled Thornton.
One more. So THOR.
It's like Thornton. THORN.
Oh, there's an N in there. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's an N. TON. Thornton.
Gotcha.
And then you've got it Horton down here at the bottom.
Gotcha.
In that last.
Autocorrect.
I don't know. Well, you know, I'm not the best speller in the world, but I did notice that.
No worries. I appreciate it. Fix last name. Cool. Do.
Do I hear a motion to amend and approve the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. So moved. Next is the public comment section. I would like to recommend we move our visitor up so she doesn't have to sit there any longer than she has to. And bring her up to the public comment section, if everybody's in agreement with that. Presence, thank you.
I have plenty.
Any objections?
No.
Well, this is Miss Erica Waring. She's from Seneca High School. She's an Ag Ed major at Clemson, a freshman.
Cool.
She is the state FFA president. Now, being a state officer is a big deal. Being the president is tremendous. So we'd like to congratulate you on that, Erica, and I know it took a lot of work. Y'all know, most of you know FFA organization is a great organization, and it's a large organization, has a huge impact on America. So we just wanted to invite you up here and say hello and congratulations.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And for those of you I haven't met, as he said, I'm Erica Waring. I'm from Seneca, just graduated from Seneca High School. I'm an agricultural education major with a horticulture minor at Clemson University right now. And I do have a teaching emphasis, so I have the future goal to be a high school ag teacher down the road. That's where I'm looking to go. I just want to talk to you guys real quick tonight about the future of agriculture in Oconee County. Now, Oconee County has very strong agricultural roots, as we all know. It's a great place, and Oconee County farmers definitely do their part in helping strengthen South Carolina agriculture. But we do also know that the average age of farmers is over 55 years old. Less than 2% of the U.S. population are farmers, but they're tasked with feeding the whole 100%. In 2050, the world population is scheduled to reach over 9.6 billion. Now, these are facts that we all know and that can often worry the agricultural industry as a whole. I feel the best thing that we can do as agriculturalists and as those in support of the field is to support agricultural education. That's just the key to everything in my mind. I may be a little bit partial because it's my major and it's what I love, but I truly do feel that agricultural education is the future to helping achieve all these goals in the agricultural industry. I want to tell you guys a quick story about me growing up working in my family garden. I did not grow up on a farm. I'm a non-traditional ag student, but every year my family had a garden. We had vegetables and plenty of flowers. My sister and I had our own portion of the garden that we got to take care of. Now, we loved to sit outside on our rocking chairs, watch the vibrant colors of the flowers, see the bees go from and pollinate around. That was my favorite thing to do. But with that beautiful sight came hard work. We had to water every day, we had to pull up weeds, and we had to spread mulch. I did not like doing these tasks when I was very little at all. And so one year, I told my parents that for my section of the garden, I wasn't going to worry about all that extra stuff. I was just going to put my plant in the ground and let it grow. They let me have my little experiment, and 2 weeks in, I was devastated. I came outside, ready to sit in my rocking chair and look at my flowers, and instead of being tall and vibrant, they were limped, leaned over, leaves were browning, and no bees were around to pollinate. They pulled me to the side and let me know that all those extra tasks that we did, like watering the plants, pulling up weeds, and spreading mulch, that was the support system for those plants. It was my job as the gardener, as the planter, to take care of my plants. It was my job to be their support. Agricultural education is just like those plants. It needs the support. When you want the increase that agricultural education can bring, you have to be willing to support it. Now, there's various ways to support agricultural education. One way is, of course, monetary donations. While there is funds through the government for agricultural education programs, FFA chapters can achieve at a much higher level when they have extra funds. To go on trips, for example, to state convention, national convention, go to FFA camp over the summer, go to different workshops, compete in different CDEs. These are all opportunities that help students take what they learn in the classroom and take it to the next level. They get to grow as leaders, they get to grow as future agriculturalists as a whole. Another way to support agricultural education programs is through sharing your expertise. All of you I know have strong backgrounds in agriculture, or you wouldn't be here tonight. You have a certain base of knowledge that agricultural education students can benefit from. As I said, I'm not a traditional ag student. I did not grow up on a farm. I did not come from that strong background, as most students don't come from a traditional ag background, with most families 4 generations removed from the farm. So we need to look to agriculturalists to help share their expertise. We have great agriculture teachers in our district, and we are so blessed in Oconee County. All of our middle schools and high schools have ag ed programs. That's an amazing fact. Oftentimes, I think we take that for granted in Oconee County, but my teammates and I right now are fighting to help get programs started in the lower part of the state. There are many counties in South Carolina that don't have a single ag ed program. And it's an extremely sad fact to say that that's our top moneymaker for the state.
Absolutely.
It's super sad to say. So we need to take advantage, be thankful for, and help uplift our ag ed programs in our county. Now, another way, as I said, that you can support these programs through sharing your expertise is to just make yourselves and encourage farmers to make themselves available to ag teachers. Many ag teachers may not be from the area, so they don't know different contacts. They don't know how to best engage the agricultural community with their students. This could mean that farmers could serve as guest speakers in an ag ed classroom one day. Be a speaker, learn from a farmer, and help gain new input into a different field of agriculture. This could also mean possibly going on a tour of a farm in our county. Again, we're supporting Oconee County agriculture and supporting agricultural education programs, which is the future of Oconee agriculture. These are just a few of the ways that the agricultural community can help support agricultural education. I thank you guys for letting me speak tonight, and if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I have my business cards. I'd love to talk with you all more about how we can better engage our ag ed programs, our 4-H programs, our FFA chapters with the farmers in our area, because if that connection doesn't happen, then we aren't going to move forward, and we aren't going to reach that world population, of feeding that world population in 2050. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want y'all to, this is, Ms. Waring is a perfect example of what FFA teaches young people. She spoke well. One of the career development events she mentioned CDEs, that's a career development event. There are many categories. One of them is extemporaneous speaking, where they just get a topic off the cuff. They have a prepared speech, they have an extemporaneous speech, and they go at it. There are many career development events that are way beneficial. Teach record keeping, leadership, everything. And if anyone would like to comment or ask a question, I'm going to share something in a minute.
I have a question. Does FFA have a reach out to the kids who are homeschooled? Do they have chapters that are they affiliated with different schools, or how's that work?
So I don't know of any in Oconee County that particularly engage, but with most programs that are involved at public high schools, homeschool students have the opportunity to get involved with them. It could mean that a homeschooled student should just come in for an ag class at the high school, and then that would make them eligible to be a member of the FFA chapter, so they could take a few classes to better get involved that way. And then also another way that students who are homeschooled can get involved is through 4-H. That, again, is agricultural education and a great way for youth to get involved with agriculture, and that you do not have to be a part of the public school system to get involved.
I know, I'm just wondering about that, because I know several families that are homeschooled that, that are in the agricultural area and, that kind of thing. So I just wondered if there was an avenue they could get involved with FFA. I knew about 4-H.
Yeah, my neighbor, they do the Sprout program that Clemson University has, and he's in the 4-H, and he just got his awards and everything. He was a little guy, about 6 years old, so proud. And I've given him seed. I go into the schools as much like Fair Oak and all as I can, because I'm a beekeeper, and I do presentations. And like you say, when I've taken seed in there and show them, how to plant and all, they want every seed that I have to go home with them. I mean, I leave there with no seeds whatsoever, because it seems like they're just thirsty for it.
Yes, ma'am.
And if we don't get them when they're young like that,
You're going to lose it.
we'll lose it, just like you say, we will.
I just want to say good luck to you, Erica. You're going to make a wonderful
Absolutely.
ag teacher one day. I can just see you somewhere in a classroom with those 25 or 30 students and doing a great job there. So just keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Land.
Don't stop there. Just keep on going up to commissioner, maybe.
Congratulations again on being the state president. Awesome delivery, very well. Can tell you're passionate about it. And no notes, no anything. That is very, very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We were appointed a couple of years ago by Oconee County Council to aid and advise council on all matters related to agriculture and to serve as education and awareness forum and to foster good communications between the various groups. So we came up with a list of about 50 groups, from garden clubs to Duke Energy to obvious groups like cattlemen, beekeepers, and fruit growers. So we have tried to assign a different member to those groups, and out of those 40 or 50 groups, we have about 15 or 20 people directly involved with those groups, and so reaching out to them. We had a listening session July, or was it June the 6th, where we filled the room pretty much of interested people of agricultural interests, and they gave us their ideas. We got a lot of great ideas from them. One of them was an ag teacher, and he said, we have X number of programs, but only so many are 12-month. And I know from teaching it's important to have the 12-month because they have to do, as I've mentioned, take kids to camp. They have to do state convention in June. They have to do supervised ag experiences. So it just takes the summer to really get it done right. So we're going to assist in any way we can to get 12-month teachers for those who want. I checked into a little bit, and it has to be they want to be a 12-month teacher. That's the first step. And then I know the guy over the state ag ed. I know Mr. Keels and Mr. Cowan, and I work with all the ag ed people at Clemson. I am an ag ed product and taught for several years, and I'm stationed by the owl. And being older and wiser than most. Oh, anyway, but that's some of the things we've been doing and partnering and talking to groups, and we're going to these fairs. We're doing a recipe contest. We're trying to promote 150 years of agriculture. We're speaking to council tomorrow night, trying to get some help from them. And so we're trying to partner with anybody and everybody we can and expand the knowledge base and the importance of agriculture. So anything we can do with your group or anything you can think of for us to do, just I'm an email away. So actually I'm next door in P&A. So if you're in a horticulture major or emphasis, then I'm sure I'll be seeing you in the building.
Yes, sir.
Erica's parents teach, her dad teaches science, right?
He actually just recently retired. He's
Okay.
enjoying retirement.
Oh,
But
good.
he was a math teacher for a many number of years, and then he was administrator. And my mom, she's an assistant principal at Seneca High School.
And she taught computers before
She
that.
did
That's when I
for
knew her. And your
16
dad and I
years.
actually judged a science fair at elementary level several years ago. So it's really good to meet you. And if you want to stay around, we're going to discuss some of those things I hit real quick. And then our agenda is published. It's right there. If you can stay as long as you want, or you can leave whenever you need to.
Thank you so much.
But thank you for coming. Appreciate it. All right, so that was a wonderful presentation, and that, like I said, that's what FFA does. So, a proclamation. I drafted up a proclamation. I thought of 4 or 5 different things when we first started this board, and one of those was the list of partners. One was the proclamation, and so I'd like to pass it out, and you can just review it, hack on it, whatever you want to do to it, and we'll change it and present it whenever it's appropriate, Mr. Adam. I think I need one more. The only 2 things I wasn't sure about, I couldn't find, as we mentioned, we left out a couple of things of the infographic. One was the overall dollar amount. I've been thinking a lot about that. One was the forestry component, and one was printing things on one side so we could post it in a window. So those are some things we were thinking about. Adding up what's on this, so I didn't put the total dollar amount down there I didn't put the dollar amount, and I didn't put the number of people employed in agriculture because I can't really determine that accurately just yet. And I wasn't sure of our ranking in tourism because at one time we were number 4 in the state, but that was a long time ago. I imagine we're still pretty high. So those things that are in parentheses or XXX, we got to narrow those down. But that's the proclamation, and I've drifted off, but in adding up what's on this, it's about 137 million. This came from the census. I added up the census, and it's about the same because that's what that came from, so they've matched. But
How much?
137 million. But I think it's a lot higher. I think it's 150, 175, maybe 200 million.
In 2012, that's just based off 2012 numbers, so it's 6 years old,
Yeah.
right? 2012?
Yeah.
2012 numbers.
And actually, some of the farmland has shrunk from 7 to 2012, but hopefully the dollars have grown. We've got more dealers, tractor dealers, we've got more agricultural support industry, agribusiness. So we're working on that. How about the proclamation? The reason, I thought about September because we're doing things in September. Thought about October because of the traditional harvest. But then I thought November because that's the traditional farm-to-table month. And it's when agriculture is recognized a lot across the state because of farm-to-table events. So that was a recommendation made to me, so I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Do you think it would be possible, Rex, to, I don't know, I think November would be the latest with farm to table, but if everyone could communicate with you on what they see within the next little bit, and then it could be voted on in October, so it could already be asked to be put on the agenda to be approved, is that correct, Adam?
Could you move the mic just a little closer, ma'am? So what's the question again, I suppose?
The proper protocol to have this to go to county council would be, it would need to be in its final form by the October meeting, correct?
You could do, well, let's see when the first meeting in November is. Maybe we'll look at it as the first, right?
Or
That'd be
in the
perfect.
middle of
It's
October,
not.
it could go to the second.
The first meeting in November is until the 6th.
I was hoping we could get it on tomorrow, because I'm gonna speak tomorrow night, right?
It's tomorrow's, I mean, I can certainly ask, although I think it's probably a little late day of. I think that the agenda has to be amended at least 24 hours ahead of time. Plus, it's a fairly stacked agenda, and I'd like to, give them a chance to digest what we're handing them. We give to them any month of the year, just declaring if we want to go with November being the month. It doesn't really have to be that meeting. So if we, I had there we go. If we, let's say today we said, okay, we want November, just as a matter of conversation, said November is going to be Ag Advisory Month. I would send it to them and they would put it on the appropriate, when they can put it on there. We wouldn't set the council's agenda. We would send it to them and administration would say, okay, it's going on the end of October or middle of November or whenever. Because the month will be the month. So.
Just to not back up a minute, but to coordinate, Clemson Extension already does a recognition dinner for farmers every fall, and that's October, is that right, Debbie, or
In
November?
November.
It's in November already. They have already established in South Carolina Agriculture Awareness Month, and I think we need to coincide and not create something new, but do the same, but just make that a proclamation that we agree and we support ag for whatever month it is, but that's already established out there. And the dinner is.
I'll tell you the minute second, I think it's the first Thursday,
In November.
November is this.
And that's been going on about 6 or 7 years now.
Wow.
It's the first, actually. It's the first November. It's the first Thursday.
First Thursday in November.
First Thursday, yeah.
Okay, so that's already established. I think it'd be a great thing to tie that together, Mr. Rex,
That's the first,
since it's already
that's the
there.
first Thursday.
And we're invited to a banquet in November of Soil and Water
That's
Conservation.
the one
Farmers
I'm talking about.
Appreciation.
That's the
That's
same
it.
thing.
That's it.
And
So it's
the
on the-
date of that is, I'll look on that letter that he sent out, that Eddie sent out, it's on here.
Yeah, I still got it somewhere.
It's recognition of farmers all over Oconee County.
It's, the 8th.
All
Okay.
right, so it's the second.
So it's the
November
second one, yeah.
I just want to mention, Rex, when I did the proclamation for the Pollinator Week, Katie, that's the clerk, what's she, clerk?
She's the clerk of council. She's
Clerk of council, she's
meet
who
for
you
y'all.
need to really speak with as far as wording and getting it on council. You know, she's the one that helps set the agenda and everything, but she can help you tremendously. She did me, and she's really very good at it. She does most of them.
And this is the separate, we said we're going to try to be there in our,
It says November the 8th on the document.
Right.
Okay.
6 p.m. South Union Baptist.
See where
Right.
that.
6 p.m.
And they would like as many of us as possible to come. I communicated with one of them today, and they said a lot of us can come.
Yep.
So I've already told Eddie I'll be there. So Okay, well, that's a good idea. I like when they consolidate or coordinate with other events. That's great. And I guess if their first meeting is November 6th, I mean, that'd be okay if they declared it on November 6th as November month, you know.
Right, so it would go in, so if you all said, we want agricultural proclamation, you all would make a motion,
The
second
Recognition
vote.
month, that being November.
Oh, yes,
If
but
that's
you,
what
you
y'all want.
you present
Right.
it in
That's how it would work, and
like
then
Yeah.
we'd send to them, and then they would say, okay, it'll be on the November agenda, it'll be in the October agenda. Like, as far as when council actually sees it, we don't necessarily have an exact say onto that, but it would be October, November.
We can ask for it to be in the November be the month
Sure.
and for them to recognize or see it whenever they can see it. And we set that up through Katie or the
Yeah.
agenda or whatever.
facilitate
And,
it.
That's the agenda.
And I will run this through Katie, and see what she thinks and help me with the wording. And I will fix those two items I mentioned.
So do we officially need a motion?
Mm-hmm.
All right, wait, hang on just a second. I estimated $150 million in here based on what I just told y'all. So are you okay with that estimate, or should we not put that in there, or
So what you could do is you could do a motion and vote to
prove the
let you
idea?
write this, that way if anything changes, we're not stuck to a certain number. So you'd say, make November Ag Proclamation Month, and Mr. Blanton will go ahead and
Adjust
get all the
figures
details.
accordingly with the census for updated figures.
So, yeah.
I put on there, but I took it back out, it's based on the USDA 2012 census, but I just took that out because it's too wordy. So, pretty sure about everything else. Came from the census, so.
All right. I make a motion that, we move forward with proclamation allowing Mr. Blanton to correct or additions or subtractions to the proclamation at his will.
Second.
All those in agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody disagree? And I will surely run the numbers by you before I go final, because I like to be open and upfront. All right, we agree on November and getting it on the agenda when it's possible, and Katie with the wording.
We agree on whatever month is already established.
Right. All right, let's go on to the Heritage Fair.
Sir, actually, we kind of skipped over number 4, the November meeting date.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I believe there was something about November, a conflict.
That's right. Our meeting in November is November 12th on the calendar. It happens to be Veterans Day, November 12th. So we're not open, so you all can run your own meeting. I'm not going to be here. No, so the council's not open. So we have to figure out another date. That was also the date we were talking about for the Farmer Rancher listening session. So I have 4 other possible dates right around there that you all can pick from. It would be the 7th, 8th, or 14th and 15th. Those are Wednesdays and Thursdays before and directly after. But those are the closest times. We could also go 21 or 22, but that's kind of getting close to the holidays.
Isn't 8 out because that's South Union?
Yep.
That's the day that we're invited
the
to go
dinner.
to the dinner.
November 8th. Oh, November 8th is that. Okay, so November 8th is out. Okay. So then we have 7, 14, 15. 7th, the 7th, the 14th, or the 15th. Which is a Wednesday.
That's too, so I just do it next week.
15th, maybe?
15th.
That wouldn't interfere with other stuff going on.
Yeah,
Um,
Oh, I mean,
Is it gonna hurt us to wait that late? That's only a week and a half past the normal. Oh, no, it's only
Well, it's only 3 days past the other
A few
meeting.
days past the normal, yeah,
It'd be it would have been the same week, it just been,
few days later.
yes.
Well, it'll be nice, we can announce it or talk about it at the dinner. We can get on the agenda at the dinner, and, cause there's a lot of farmers there that we don't necessarily talk to, a lot of the poultry farmers and
right.
people like that, so,
Yep.
It would give them a week's notice to be here.
yeah. Hopefully we'll have the word out before then, and we can remind them.
Right.
Mhm.
and have Wednesdays out.
Do
It
you
has to be
need
a
a-
Tuesday or Thursday.
A motion for that?
Yeah, you'll have to motion and vote to amend the, change the meeting date to whichever date you all so
I'd say
choose.
the Thursday might be better.
That's what I say.
I like Thursday. Is that for the meeting and the listening session? or
That'll be
just-
one and the same. It'll go on the calendar as a
Okay.
meeting, but it'll be the Farmer Rancher listening session. So the agenda will be call to order, minutes, listening
Listening
session.
session. Okay.
That's all it'll be.
So, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we change the meeting for the Ag Advisory Board from November the 12th to November the 15th in, at the same time, 6:30, and that we make sure we announce the Farmer Rancher listening session.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Good. Okay, that sounds great. Thank you, Adam, pulling us back on track as usual.
Not a problem, sir.
Okay. The staffing of the Heritage Fair and meetings. The next item.
So the Heritage Fair, I talked to Ms. McPhail, and she said we don't have to be there the entire time the fair's up, but we could staff it as we could. Last meeting, we kind of talked about Friday and Saturday as being Friday evening, Saturday day as being the times where we would go and staff it. Mr. Hollifield already spoke for you, Mr. Land, saying you'd be busy. But other than that, we need to staff it for at least a few hours. So we need to pick the hours we're going to be open, and then we need to pick the hours we're going to have it staffed.
And what are the times?
Maybe you can be there.
We can have
It's
up
all
to
day-
3.5.
well, it'll be Friday afternoon till, I think they said till
10.
10, and then Saturday it's from 10 to 10, I believe.
Let me ask a question. Is soil and water conservation or either Clemson Extension or any other ag agency of Oconee County have a booth down there?
Clemson will have they'll have their, trailer will be there, as far as I know, usually it is.
Okay.
And they're planning on it being there. Also, there's another thing, do you remember David Thornton that came last time?
Mhm.
They're the group, the Oconee Cultivation Project, they are gonna have a booth or whatever too, and I've asked Gwen if we can kind of be close together, so we can kind of maybe work with them, and also the beekeepers will have a big exhibit trailer tent, and I'm gonna go to the meeting Thursday, and they will help us out too, like, you know, if we wanna leave some brochures with them, that's what we did last year. Or if we wanna make sure that they're aware of what's coming up and that kind of thing, so they can share with the people, and they'll have somebody there all week. They have a schedule where people will be there for the whole thing, so we do have an opportunity to reach out and to kind of work together with some of these groups, if that's okay with y'all.
By all means.
I'm good.
Sorry, Ms. Waring, are you all going to be there at the Heritage Fair at all? Do you know?
I know a few people will be there during the day for the Ag Days at the fair portion that the FFA, Seneca FFA and West Oak FFA participate in. But we are definitely free to come.
Do y'all have a set display or anything you're gonna set up?
We will not be there as a booth, we'll just be there visiting.
Oh, okay.
But 5 of the 6 of us are Clemson students, so we're in the area.
Right, okay, good. What days are y'all shooting for, or what times, or whatever y'all planning to visit?
I know there's a few people visiting Friday morning during the Ag Days at the fair portion. So the Heritage Fair isn't actually fully functioning during that time. They just have the Ag Days at the fair where elementary school students come.
Okay, great. All right, what times do we need to be there?
When the bulk of the people are there. But you can be in the
Friday night
evenings.
and Saturday.
So,
Yeah.
5 PM Friday or 6 PM, or what's y'all's
I'm
pleasure?
going with-
I'm gonna pass around a sign-up sheet in a minute, and I'm wanting to know that, so to put the first time on there.
I will be there. I will be there all day, but I probably cannot be doing that. I will be timing or secretarying both Friday and Saturday, both the high school event and the youth event. So I'm sorry. I mean, I
You'll
don't
be
mind
there.
helping, but
All right,
That was the question.
All right, I
why,
got times
if we
right
could
here. Friday,
probably
4 PM to
Clemson
11, and Saturday, 10 till 11.
say that again.
Friday, 4 PM to 11 PM, Saturday, 10 AM to 11 PM. But That's, yeah. So usually what we plan with the, just my experience with the Beekeeper Association, like on Saturday, we plan from 10 to 10. So, and usually it's a 2-hour block during the day. And Friday, the same thing, from 4 to 10, a 2-hour block. And usually like to have more than one person there, but it doesn't matter with us. One person just kind of hang around. And like I said, I'll get us some help.
So if we did a few hours on Friday night, so pick a block of time, say 3 or 2 or 3, 3 or 4, 2 to 4 hours, from whatever y'all think there. And then we could probably do something matching there on Saturday. But do you want to do, so Friday, it's going to be the nighttime. We know that. Saturday, how do you all feel? What is y'all's availability? I mean, I can't really speak to being able to help y'all out too much with, I'll set up the infrastructure for y'all, but I don't know if I can get paid to go to the fair, so.
You don't need to hang around.
I'm off on Tuesday, and I thought that I could help set up whatever we're gonna do exhibit-wise, Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Go down there because Tuesday night, I'll be there anyway for the dinner, and, I can help,
Right,
anytime Tuesday.
But then it'll be sitting out there till Friday, no. that would be-
Yeah, well, just
I don't
kind of
think-
figuring out what we're gonna
Oh,
do.
yeah, sure.
No, I don't think we need to set our stuff out till
No, but I
Friday,
mean,
Saturday.
if we're gonna have brochures or anything, we can distribute them, and, I mean, we need to work out the logistics to.
Who's working the Friday starter shift?
I will be there, so, I mean, I could probably, if there was a time that you needed me, I could go down and see what needed to be done. If it's at 4, and then somebody could be there by, say, 5, then I could get back up the hill probably and do whatever
Home to 5.
needed.
I can take it up at 5.
Okay,
Right.
so, I mean, after that, though, I'm gonna be,
Would y'all like to sign up? I didn't, or tell me.
I thought he was writing my name down.
I was gonna write them down, I'm just trying
Oh,
to,
you writing them down?
I'm trying to, whatever you get here, boss. Take my secretary job away from
Well,
Cerny.
here's the, what time did you say, Sandra?
She's going to come at 4, I'm going to come at 5, and I can stay as long as needed.
I mean, I'm already gonna be there, so that's something I can just go right down the hill.
So, like 2-hour blocks like Miss
Yeah.
Sewell was saying. Is anybody else available to come like a 7 to 9 or maybe?
Saturday about 6 to 7, 6 to 8. He's got it.
Is that what time you just chose, Bubba?
Ma'am,
You just choose that time, 6 to 8?
I just choose it because I'll be at farm to 5.
I'll be checked in.
I don't
Anybody
get
else can
home off the
speak up
bus
before I
till
do, you
5.
get it.
Are you available at all on Saturday?
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and that's what I was talking about, was Saturday.
Yeah, yes, sir. So same time, 6 to 8 as well?
Yep, be fine.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
6 to 8 Saturday,
Yes, ma'am.
PM.
I'm sure I'm gonna be on.
No, I got you on that one.
Thank goodness.
Anybody, how about Saturday during the day? Anybody got any time during the day?
Available both days.
That's what I was thinking, sometime in the daylight hours, just move around, shake hands,
Sure.
introduce yourself.
Get the date, please.
I work on Saturday night. I can, like I said, I'm off on Tuesday. I'm trying to get off Thursday and
That's right.
Friday, so.
Okay, so you're helping with that,
um,
okay.
So if on Friday would you be available on Friday to come join Dr. Gray possibly?
I get off Saturday, it would be after 5 on Saturday when I get off.
That's a big day driving down from there and then go back there to sit a lot. I hate to push too
Well, I'll
much on
probably be
that.
there anyway.
That's true. Is anybody else available for Friday evening with Dr. Gregg?
I'm sorry?
I was just saying, if anybody else is available to come hang out with you.
I can do, 5 or 6 to whenever.
On that Friday, sir?
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, I'll come at 4 with Sandra and hang out until.
Sandra's coming at 5, I'm coming at 4.
I'll probably be there around 4:30.
Get there when you can, vote,
Yeah.
check in.
So,
Yeah, no one's,
Really?
you don't have to punch in or
Okay.
punch out, but that way no one's sitting there
Okay.
alone. All right, cool. Well, that's,
What about Saturday during the day? Anybody have any time during the day, Saturday?
I'll be at farm all day.
I can do one time, a couple of
Maybe after
times.
12.
yeah, I can probably come in on Saturday too, for some time.
That's probably, I think we need, it'd be nice to have somebody there during the day, sometime, because that's really the busiest day at the fair.
You think it'll
Yeah.
be busy at 10 or not until 11 or
I
12?
think it's usually afternoon.
On the weather.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
of
it does
busy.
depend on the weather, 100%.
This is true.
I looked at Easley Fair, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
the
not
one
going
year
there.
was-
It's
oh,
900 degrees.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
it's horrible.
It'll be,
But
Eastern Carolina, North Carolina Fairs in Greenville.
usually what happens in the afternoon, you know, around 3 or 4, it starts kind of, more people
Right.
get there. And Kim, the rodeo's going on what
Yeah, the
time?
rodeo, you can forget everything.
The rodeo
They all
will
go to
start
it.
at 8 both nights, and then slack
People
afterwards.
come before that and then go to the rodeo.
And during the day on Saturday, there will be a youth rodeo, but normally that's just their parents. I know I'm timing that. And then, Secretary, and then the slack for the high school's at 4. And I know we've requested to ride at 4 so we can go ahead and get the horses home, because I have to come back and do points that night. So that's kind of our goal.
Well, hey, that's, I mean, we got something here. I mean, for the first time, we're gonna
Eat at the fair.
have the Ag Board
the fair.
represented there, and that's, you
One's
know,
Monday, one's.
4 hours,
Okay, I'm going to
4 more
both.
FaceTime
There you
hours than
go.
we've had
One's
before.
Monday, one's Tuesday. One's
I'm-
costs $30 and one's free.
Name
Yeah.
tags on in,
Let's see what
Free
they do.
dinner.
where you got 'em.
Debbie, do you have any idea about the name tags? How they coming?
Uh,
I leave mine at
I'm-
home every day.
I'll get back with you on that. I'll get them to you.
That'd be good if we had them by then.
I had my car to go to Charleston and look
Yeah.
if I get at home. I'm sorry.
Where is this one? Monday.
All right, how are we gonna coordinate with these other groups? Now, you said you're gonna talk to your meeting Thursday.
Yeah, and I'll talk to David and
And
Casey. I'll
Who's running the Clemson trailer?
Oh, I don't know. They take turns too.
Which trailer? We got about 1,000.
It's usually that one that they can cook and stuff, and they get, you know, it's the.
From Oconee office or?
No, it's the Clemson one that they take to fairs and stuff.
Coney doesn't have one.
Okay, all right, well, let's see if we can,
Morris, he lines it up every year, and he schedules which day they go and all that good stuff.
okay, all righty.
So if I may, just real quick, so what we're gonna have there as far as printed out stuff, and this is just my list, you all tell me what else you want me to add. I'm gonna get that infographic edited, printed up, I'm gonna have that in large format, I'm also gonna have that as perhaps a backing to some other kind of handouts, that was Ms. Sewell's idea. A little info sheet about the Ag Board itself, perhaps the same handout we used in the past. A flyer for the Farm and Rancher listening session to advertise that out there. I also went ahead and are you all familiar with American Farmlands Trust, No Farms, No Food stickers? I got 200 of those stickers.
Yes.
So if you want a sticker, you're gonna take one of the Farm and Rancher listening session handouts with you, kind of get them out there, so for 100 for each night, and I bet you we'll see a bunch of those bumper stickers driving around the county soon. And then, comp plan too. We're gonna piggyback on the comp plan stuff with comprehensive planning, for the county. And so I'm gonna put out some advertisements for that as well. And we're probably gonna have some of the comprehensive plan people here for the Farm Rancher listening session as well, to help get some of the questions, the right questions asked as well, so it'll probably be a dual purpose thing as well. But it'll just be all about the farmers talking and try to ask the right questions. So those are the 4 things I'm gonna have printed up. Is there any other thing you'd like, perhaps the Ag banner? Ms. Sewell made an excellent banner for the Mark to Table contest. I'll probably get an Ag Board contest, or Ag Board.
Market to
Thank you.
table.
Made, yeah, as well. Is there anything else for handout materials, things like that, bag 'em in stickers, anything else that y'all think of?
You were gonna get bags from Ms. Hartman, was it?
I can ask her. I thought about that. Maybe I think
Miss Hartman.
Oconee, maybe she'll give us some bags or some other swag.
Oh,
Janet
think
Hartman.
Oconee
Little green
stickers.
ones like we use at the market, those are nice, people like
I
those.
can
The
ask.
market bag.
the
Okay,
market.
well, you can ask her. Whatever.
All right. What about the trail ride or the wagon and trail and?
Can we, before we move on from the fair, I've got a couple
Yeah.
things. I want to clear this up. We talked about this last week. The Farm Bureau Farmer Appreciation Dinner is on Tuesday,
Right.
okay? That's the dinner that they would like for us to be at if possible. It's the free dinner at Farm
It's on
Bureau
Tuesday.
At the fairgrounds.
at the fairgrounds. Monday
Egg.
night
Yep.
is the chamber market-to-table dinner. It's $30 a head.
So they doing two?
It
Yeah,
will be
they
there.
always do. Somehow it's split.
And,
sometimes.
All right,
it
go
would
back
be
over
not-
that, I wanna write it down, please.
Okay. Let me look at the details of that.
Here we go.
The farm appreciation is Tuesday night, excuse me, 6:00. Oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong, no, it says 18th, 2018. One place says 17, but Tuesday is the 25th. isn't it?
Right, it's the
Right.
25th.
Okay, all right, well, let's see, they just have a misprint here. Okay, now let me look at the farm, the other one, hold on.
The other one is the farm to table.
Yeah, it's with the, chamber,
That's the 24th.
yeah, the
Yeah.
24th, and you send us something about that, or?
So what I did, because some people had said they were interested in it, I went ahead and advertised it as a legal meeting for us, if we wanted to go ahead and do such. If you all want to show up as a group of 4 or more at
Okay.
either of these dinners, we can have it as an official meeting. We don't have to sit around or anything like that, but it'll be an official meeting
I've
because we
already
talk
got
about ag
tickets
stuff.
for it. I reckon I'm
So I
coming.
went ahead and I advertised that. So it's a meeting on the books. I can always cancel it, but I just soon have it.
Keep it on the
What
books.
time is
If
it?
it covers
I'm
us,
having
yeah.
a
Are
Monday.
you gonna do the same thing for the November 8th? And I know we've moved on from that, but just to make sure.
Oh, yeah, the November meeting, yeah, tomorrow I'm definitely gonna move that to the 14th.
No. Yes, sir, that is correct. We do need to move it to the 15th for the meeting here with the Farmer Rancher listening session. But on
Okay.
November 8th,
The dinner.
the meeting for soil and water conservation at South Union Baptist, if more than 4 of us are going, are you going to advertise that?
Yes, I shall. That's a great point. That overshot my head. Thank you.
Okay,
You're
thank you.
coming to that, aren't you, Adam?
As your secretary, I must.
That's.
I was just making sure, sorry.
Still trying to find the date.
And I'll come to the other meetings as well. If you all let me know, hey, I'm gonna go to this farmers appreciation, the conference one, I'll come to it. I can eat.
Coming, yep, coming to both.
Me too, I'll be at both as well.
I'm going to the beekeepers meeting this coming week, so I can thank them for what they've done.
Oh, all right, we'll love to see you, everybody will love to see you.
But that's fine.
Calendar's full.
I know, I'm still trying to find the time for that, Adam.
We can always send that out later if everybody wants to. It's
Okay.
not a issue. I think I found it and I published the time, so.
Oh, you
I'm
did,
not-
I think it's at 6 also.
That's kind of one of those things that was brought up several times about interagency operability and communication and overlap and dilution, we're looking at 3 banquets right there just in a small time frame, and everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and that kind of waters it down a little bit, maybe.
Well,
But how do you get everybody on the same page at the same time? Got several different groups operating.
Now, that was one of the discussions in the early days that we talked about, how to bring all these different groups together and let us be a clearinghouse for some of that information, but also, I guess, coordination too, but,
They were here before we were.
yeah, that's right.
But they go in their own directions. Now, wasn't that farm-to-table dinner associated with the fair originally?
That was the original.
it is, it still is.
Still is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's part of the
But-
fair.
And then Farm Bureau started doing theirs.
Yeah,
Several speakers there.
Yeah.
Like Alexander sometimes has spoke,
Yeah.
some,
this year will
Special
be,
people.
Mr. Boz is
yeah,
gonna speak
Mr.
about
Boggs
the,
is going to.
Which ball?
Alan, about the he was the extension agent.
Oh, that ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any other ag events in
it
October?
is.
Because I was just thinking, like, September seems to be, September we have the
Farm,
Apple Festival
Oconee,
and that, and then
farm
October kind of falls
table
off. And then November seems to be fairly agriculturally heavy. I just wonder if there's anything in
Yeah, I
October.
don't know. The Heritage Fair used to be October. They moved it forward
dinner, 5:30 to 7:30.
this year for some reason.
Yeah, it was first,
Usually October,
Okay.
like about the 4th, 5th October.
yeah, first
The
week.
dinner's 5:30 to 7:30.
Which one?
On
The one,
Monday,
the chamber dinner.
Sure.
On Monday.
then the other one's at
October's a
6.
traditional harvest month.
You have to buy tickets to it.
But that's their business, yeah.
That's their business, I can't say.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That was just my
All right,
question.
Working in pre-ag.
Any more? We're about to beat that one good.
$30.
Agricultural Director. Subcommittee.
Yes, Sandra and I talked about this just a little bit today, and what we were waiting for was those contacts. We've got those few holes that are not filled in, and we thought we were getting contact information from you guys to make sure that we put everything in. I think, was it Sandra, poultry,
Yeah.
cattlemen, what is your list?
Poultry and cattlemen.
That's
Poultry, cattlemen, beekeeper, like the contact person that y'all want us to put in the, for
club or
each.
each organization.
Yes, sir. And then anything else y'all want us to add to that? We didn't get any feedback after we presented the draft, that's all we were saying.
think-
And we needed direction.
All that information is gonna be through Clemson Extension. I don't have the numbers and whoever the current president is of each organization, but, you know, Pat Williams is the president of the Cattlemen's Association, and that's all I know. But
Okay.
Clemson Extension is gonna have all that information,
Right,
right?
good.
Yeah,
Well, we will
They
be
should- they
glad
got- they
to
got it.
just contact them and ask them to send us that, and then we will be more than happy to we have Clemson Extension in the directory. We'll be happy to include whatever else you guys think we need to include.
Beekeeper, the president changes every year with the Beekeepers Club, but our place of business is the extension office.
Well, that was what I was gonna say, and that was a question I think Sandra and I had discussed one time with Marlene, I think, is do we need to put Clemson Extension first? With kind of a statement a disclaimer that says if you cannot find information, please contact, we can put Adams and then Clemson Extension as they are the
but Clemson Extension
extension
first.
first, okay.
They're the clearinghouse of all those organizations. They established the Cattlemen's Association, Poultry Association, all those were
Part
started.
of Clemson.
Part of Clemson Extension.
And that's what
program.
we knew, but we just wanted to make sure that was right. And then for the Ag Board, it would be.
Yeah, it would be
we
my
would
office.
put Adam's office under there as the other disclaimer. And then we would list the other things out, but then if they needed him, they could get him.
And what we're doing is an agricultural directory for people that are beginning farmers or are new to the area, so they have a concise thing they can turn to, a document to turn to get numbers and contacts to try to help people get started. So that just lets you know what that is. And
That would be great to have some Clemson students involved in preparing that with their technology skills and to help too, so.
Yeah.
It would be a great project for someone in the ag department at Clemson to help create that.
Do you know, Mr. Layfield helped us do their beekeeper's manual a couple years ago, and they actually did it as part of a class, and it was beautiful. It turned out great. So we'd like that again.
he's the graphics guru, and there's a lot of skill and talent over there. And if this strikes your fancy and you think of a project to go along with it or some way to help us out, let us know. Glad to have you. So that's, a lot of this stuff is to get the word out. So the next thing was Debbie came up with the market to table contest. And we good on the directory for now?
Yes, sir. We'll finalize it and bring it back to you guys at the next meeting if that's okay.
Yeah.
And then, that's all we were waiting on, so.
I mentioned, I showed it to a group I met with this week, and I'll tell you about them later, but market to table contest, Ms. Sewell came up with an excellent, idea of using Oconee recipes and Oconee products to have a cooking contest, and maybe end up with a cookbook, so how's that going?
Well, it's gonna be a short cookbook, but
It's a start.
it's a start.
Yeah.
We have, we've had several entries, and we had kind of a slow start, and I've left, and we've got a week left, the 15th, everybody, and I haven't seen a single recipe from anybody sitting here,
Okay, oh.
True story. True
including
story.
Mr. Adams.
I had one pulled out, and my wife said, "Have you ever made that?" And I said, "No." She said, "Well, you might want to make it first."
No, you don't have to make it, just send it to us.
Yeah, I'll get a recipe.
It was just biscuits or something.
Well, tell Mandy to help
I
you.
don't cook.
It has to be a,
blueberry cobbler.
Oh, no.
I made it yesterday for church. and it
Cobbler
went.
boy.
We need something with apples,
Yeah.
so,
Mr. He's not even listening, Mr. Land.
Mr. Lynn, we need something with
We need
apples.
something with apples.
And maybe some wine.
You know, he'll do apples and
Or
blueberries.
something that's distilled.
Apple mash.
It's-
How about a
We'll put that in the.
apple spice cake with caramel brandy
There we
topping?
go.
There you go. That'd be good.
All
We
right.
got that already.
Okay.
I think what we're gonna do too, we'll still have winners and all, but I'm gonna try to include everybody that's entered since we've had so few people in some shape or form. If we could get the monitor like we talked about, it'd be nice to put some of the pictures I've got, and I have some really nice photographs that people have made.
I will work on a way to secure a computer or to secure something to do like a slideshow on. That'd be great.
That reminds me, we could put the PowerPoint of Ag 2017 slides that we came up with council. By then, I can have numbers put to it coming off of this. And so that can be on a loop, and they can show that at the
Have a
display.
TV that we can plug a thumb drive in the back of.
Probably a laptop.
Smart TV.
I probably won't have a full TV because then whoever sets it up will have to tow the TV back and forth, and it'll, like as far as the
Laptop
laptop,
would be
I
fine,
think
yeah.
that's easier to move around. Unless y'all have a TV you want to bring to it, we can. No? Okay. I don't have
Be
it
glad.
then.
You don't have to have a big one, just one about,
Yeah, they're pretty light now, though.
yeah, these here are thin now.
Anyone can put it in their car.
I just hung a 52-inch one by myself.
Anything else on the table contest? 9:15 is the deadline. Y'all enter up. Agricultural display, we talked about that enough. 150th activities.
It's still moving along. Your dinner, the gala is, in October, correct? So it's coming up too.
It is what it is.
What's the
What's
date?
the date of it?
What is it?
I can't
I
remember.
believe, is it the 9th?
On a Tuesday?
We got that on calendar. Do what?
Ninth is on a Tuesday in
It's in the
October.
week, it's in the middle of the week.
It's a dinner, gala, celebration. They'll have a little live entertainment, silent auction for the Heritage Museum. It's really just a spin-off on their fundraiser they have every year, to be honest with you,
But,
on the Heritage
do you
Museum.
remember the date?
Here's your calendar, if that helps you.
Sorry, I don't.
It's okay.
I can't
when it is
remember.
either.
Sorry, I can't remember the date. It's.
I can email that information out to y'all.
Yeah,
I
because
can
the last
find
meeting
out.
we had, they were still kind of,
Iffy, yeah, the date's been set, and it'll
Okay.
be, the other thing, I don't know if anybody's got, is the, Ag to Art
oh, yeah.
weekend that people need to put on the calendar. It'll be
21
the
to
first time that
23.
Oconee County has been involved in Ag to Art. That's to win
22 and 23rd.
22nd, 23rd at a couple of farms in Oconee County that people will be going around to, viewing art and agriculture together.
That's
And
this,
it's-
that's up there at the end of
It's
the
Sep-
road
it's September.
studio.
September, yes, ma'am.
They're
Can,
doing that.
Do you just show up, do you buy tickets, or what do
No,
you
you
do?
just show up and you can view the art. There'll also be vendors selling art at the two different farms.
I know the two farms, but I don't know the times or the details. I've looked, I can't, maybe, can you help us?
They just, yeah, I can send this stuff out. They just made some posters I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can,
Mr. Shirley came and talked to us and gave us some info on it, but it doesn't have really details. That's one of the things we've been trying to do is put together agritourism nucleus, and we've got someone who will print maps and directions and farms and advertise it, but we need more farmers to participate. That's the hang-up right now. So hopefully this is the beginning, because this Ag and Art show is done nationwide, but it's the first time Oconee's done it that I know of. And Mr. Land's farm, Chattooga Bell, and another artist studio, Dubo's Family Century Farm, is gonna do the other day. I guess they've divided up in 2 days.
Yep.
They're the times and the dates. And so maybe that's the beginning of our agritourism effort.
The weekend before the fair.
That'll give us 2 to start with if they all agree to. I know Mr. Land loves having visitors up here, up at his place, and loves when they leave money. And
where's Dubo's Family Century Farm? I'm not familiar with that.
Where is that located? Do you know?
I don't know.
Do you know?
It's,
Where is
I could
that?
ask.
Debbie, you know where it's at?
I think it's down near,
Let me ask Google.
yeah, somebody find out.
South end of the county? I'm not
Said
sure.
something about End of the Road Art Studio, is that, remember?
Is that the one?
Yeah,
Richter Family Farms.
Yeah,
Richter
Mr.
Farm.
Dubose, yeah, he's the art teacher at Ferret.
but where's it located?
Where's the farm?
Bear Swamp.
Oh, Bear, okay.
Bars.
It's in the south, very south end of the county, right before you get to Anderson County line.
Or is Bear Swamp Road where the
It's up
school
there
bus,
next to where the school
School
bus
bus
shop
shop.
is and all.
Bear
Oh,
Swamp?
I'm thinking.
That's, yeah,
I'm thinking
that's
the
what
other
I
one.
was
No, I'm thinking
thinking.
that-
No,
no.
I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
There's Bear
Bear
Swamp
Swamp
Road that's
Road.
just,
Yeah.
that connects
I'm
11.
thinking-
Yeah,
Right.
it's right in this
Okay.
direction.
Put it in there, yeah, now.
Adam,
Okay.
For you.
Adam, could we have some,
Beautiful
or
studio. You ever
Bubba,
been in
could we maybe have some of our, things,
Brochures there.
brochures and the thing about the,
Actually, all the-
listening session?
Once the brochures are printed, I have these out in all three of our locations right now. Any agritourism business or roadside stands or certified South Carolina grown stands in Oconee County need our brochures and these
those?
to posters to post on the wall. So I think that anywhere we can put those out to the public at an agriculture facility,
How about, could we bring information about the listening session up there for the Ag and Art Tour?
whatever you want to print, we'll put it
I'm
anywhere.
trying now to get off one of the days to come up there, so. maybe there's
Share with
something.
Debbie.
And then I wanna go to the Bose one too, but.
Yeah.
They have a beautiful
Share
studio.
with the ladies.
It is out of this world. It is beautiful. So talented people. Mm.
Adam, when can you maybe have some more printed up?
As soon as you get that, they added about forestry and the other items that you wanted on there, you just tell me whenever you and Ms. DOEA, Ms. Hartman have worked out your final format for that, then we can certainly move ahead. I mean, I realize that it's not, doesn't have 100% of what's on the ag census, and forestry is a huge portion of
It
it.
is big.
But it is really flashy, man. That's a good looking, like, everyone
No,
I've
this-
shown this
no,
to
this
is
is
like,
good.
Oh, yeah, I really think.
I've
You
handed
like
some-
one, America?
I gave some to Doug Holifield, so he's got some in his stand too.
I mean, that's
Yes.
something that in-house, that,
Come.
Economic
Got one of
Alliance
those
put
wooden
up. I
nickels
mean,
and
it's
bring to me when you come by.
Wooden nickel.
Wooden nickel.
Right there.
And have yourself a handful for your
I
students.
want to see if that's,
See, we had these old dry pamphlets, they were good, but they were just pamphlets. So we took those and gave them to a lady with the Oconee Economic Alliance. They printed them up for us. Adam's gonna print some more. They've got you're trying to show the numerical impact of agriculture on the county. So share those with
share that
folks.
nickel with me. Thank you.
And they're
Take-
based on
take yourself
2012
some,
census
Eric.
stuff, so. I'm just saying, those numbers are based upon 2012, so
Yeah, they're old numbers.
they will increase, I promise.
And back to that
Hopefully.
150 or 175, I just guessed, but I wanna put something on there.
That's,
I like
I mean, you've done a great job networking so far, I won't take that away from you.
Yes, for the fair.
I'm a
When?
little hung up on that one.
Got us a grant.
Can we get some more of those for the fair?
Yeah, that I got.
doubled.
See,
Okay,
this
that's
would be a
what's
good thing to hand out. These will go at the fair. And then, Miss Debbie Sewell's gonna sit there and color the county in for us on each one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And she's gonna also write in the numbers that said 250 orchards or 250 fruit.
No, I think something like this along with the brochures. Brochures
Oh, we
seem,
have plenty
trust
of
me, I've handed
wood
out plenty of
nickels
them
left.
for our farm. They seem to hit the trash pretty quick, but some little something, just a little trinket like that, people keep.
That's why I hesitate to hand out these really fancy brochures, because they might look at it, and might scan it, might not even look at all of it and chunk it. And I'm sure that costs a good bit to make, so I've mentioned to Janet about making a smaller.
Box somewhere though. You
Huh?
need to give them
That's
out.
true.
You gotta give them out.
Oh, no.
I've mentioned to her making a more economical version of it if possible. Maybe, whatever.
I think a poster size in all the ag businesses is a great thing. Tractors everywhere that just, it's listed.
We discovered that since it's printed on both sides, you gotta use two on each window.
That's correct. I had a thought about that for our farmer rancher, anything we hand out, we make that the back of it. Make one of those the back of the,
Do it like this.
But if it's on the signboard, they gonna
can do it
see
like
it
that.
both
oh, right,
ways.
no, not for signboard, but like say specifically for like a handout for farmer and rancher. You have one side, right, yeah,
Just
that, and
turn
the
it
other side
over,
you have
yeah.
what you want. So
Make
maybe
it
it
a
winds up
big
on someone's
poster.
fridge or someone's
Sure.
wherever.
People can put it in their window like this.
That's a good, I mean, for
Oh, it's
being
great.
agriculture, farm economics,
This is good.
which is a incredibly dull thing for most people to look at, that is a good looking infographic.
No,
I'm
Yeah,
really
this is
super
very good,
impressed.
very
Yeah,
good.
Yes.
and
I wish the new census numbers would come out soon.
I've
If you could
communicated.
shrink it half and half, then it would be one side like you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we can make it big, I mean, we have printing capabilities, we can go big with that.
Did you say you have the template for this thing today?
I have that one, yes, I don't
Okay.
have any I have no way of editing or anything adding.
You can't modify it?
I can't modify it like I mean, I could slap a number on there, but I'm not gonna make it anywhere near the same quality that is.
Well, I'm communicating with them weekly, so I've mentioned those ideas I told you, the one side, total numbers, forestry, all that stuff in smaller card size, and I've mentioned all that to them, so we'll see what comes of it.
Yeah, I mean, and even if it's just this that we have, which is great, and then maybe for, that we'll definitely utilize this. So whatever's available for printing, because I'll have to print off stuff fairly quickly for the fair. I have a limited, that's only 2
And if
weeks
you want to
away.
print a batch like this, just so we have plenty for the fair, that's fine too. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Let's go on to we done with 150th? Yes. Radio Minute. Y'all recall what that is? Adam's gotten a little skit put together, and he was gonna check on, and Mr. Holyfield mentioned we should just probably do it during prime agricultural events, not necessarily twice a week, twice a day, every week, every month.
So what we have, to recap, is that we have some funds available to run some radio ads on WGOG and the lake, the 42.92, the other lake.
The lake.
And,
94.1.
and so I've been in contact with them. So Mr. Hollifield and you all had thought that as opposed to running a full set of morning and afternoon advertisements, just say ag is great, here are the ag numbers, have it focused. So we can do that. So I'm fully prepared to take whatever skit or how you like for it to be, but for the farmer rancher listening session, for anything else, we have some advertising money. So what do we want to focus that on? And so the minute in my head was for getting people here for the listening session, say, okay, Oconee County is number 2 in poultry, number 1 in forestry, and come on November 14th to come if you're a farmer. That's kind of in my head broadly. But tell me what you all want.
What I could see, because I've heard other counties and Georgia, the radio stations over there, they do an ag minute in the radio station over in the Stevens County, and the Stevens County Extension Office is in charge of that, and they broadcast it in the morning. And now it's repeated sometimes. Theirs is probably a free, but it's okay if we pay. I'm just saying this is a community service. But I could see one bleep about an education section, and then a fun fact. Fun facts would be stuff like this. And then at the end, you do your marketing or advertising for whatever current events coming up in the county or in that's a lot. In 1 minute, you can put it all in there pretty quick.
Okay.
But if you had those 3 things, we covered education, the fun fact, and then the information or marketing section. I mean, I'm saying that based on what I've heard at other radio stations do on their ag minutes in other places.
I could see it a kind of a conversational thing where it's not just somebody standing there reading to the microphone and some people conversing about the facts of it or what you just said or, different things. This article you drafted up says, it's a quote from FDR. I found a quote in the paper the other day that says, "A nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people." That was FDR also. So there's all kind of things we could do on there, but I'd like to do something, whether it's just special events or occasional or
Combination.
PSA. We ought to be able to get some free, PSA.
I haven't worked out the free part with them yet when they know we have money to spend.
Yeah.
There's that. So I guess the first step is we all want to do some kind of radio for something. It's abroad. It seems like everybody feels okay with that. The next step is, what do we want to do? In my head, it's the farmer rancher listening session. That's just me. That's not.
That's what I think we need to concentrate on right now and
Yep.
see how it goes.
Okay, so then let's lay out, maybe we put 1 or 2 people in charge of it, because us coming up with a sketch of 7 people editing it, I haven't had a whole lot of luck on, like group editing. So maybe either a subcommittee or a working group, like you all are working for doing the, mind blank, thank you, the directory, things of that nature. And then we kind of focus it. So if we're gonna say we're gonna do it for a month before, 2 weeks before, a week before, how do we all see doing this? Or do you just wanna say, Adam, go make something, which is not the way I prefer. And by the way, I didn't
think
come up with that
If you're gonna
sketch.
focus on the cattlemen ranchers meeting, then, you give out the fun facts of there's 393 cattle growers in Oconee County, produce 15 million annually. and then you talk about cattle to spur their interest and get the areas open, and then at the end, then you're gonna close out with, something like that, if that's gonna be the focus. And then next month, it could be focused on another portion of growing Oconee. It might be beekeepers that month, and, but, just
I
to
like
have
it.
if it's a monthly
Change it up.
thing, if that's what we're talking about, or.
Can I ask a question real quick
weekly.
to Erica? When is the Indianapolis meeting?
It's in October, the third week, I believe.
Okay.
National FFA Convention.
Yeah, okay.
But I could see that, but I don't know if you want, it's gonna be a weekly program, you think, or?
We
that's up
can,
to-
we probably don't have enough to make it a weekly, so the idea was if you could do like a month block was the first idea I brought.
Okay.
And then if we want to focus on a thing, we kind of hit it for maybe like 2 weeks ahead of that. So we don't have enough money to do
Yeah,
12 months, but we could do, like, say, if we have something we're focused on, we can probably do 2 to 3 weeks out
sure.
ahead of it. And just see how it goes. Now, as far as what it says, the outline that you laid out or something else.
Sure.
So by the way, I didn't come up with that little sketch. That was from the WGOG's marketing person, the little skit there. That was from Brett Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh? No. That's the new Supreme Court guy.
It's pretty good. I'd like to tweak it a
Kenner.
little bit.
I didn't know you
I was reading an article. So, it depends how we want to do it.
Wow.
Kenner.
Yeah,
I invited a couple of reporters tonight. One responded, said she couldn't make it, but I wanted to get them to recognize you and FFA in general, and also a little advertisement for Oconee Agriculture.
They do watch the YouTube
Yeah,
videos,
I was
so
gonna say,
sometimes
you're
you
on
see, so there's
YouTube.
quite a
She said
possibility.
she'd been watching it, so
Oh,
I
excellent.
said, well, even if you can't be here, Caitlin, maybe you can write a nice article about Erica. Hopefully you saw her presentation. So we missed you, but come next time. And, okay, what's this note?
That's the question. Can one of our ads, which would advertise the ranchers listening session, be to recognize Erica? Because her state team will be going to Indianapolis, and that's FFA month, and if we're gonna get more farmers, you've got to start encouraging the youth. So recognize her if she's okay with that, and have that focus on her for that week or whatever. Recognize FFA and advertise the Farmers Ranchers listening session as well. But that way you get some semblance of youth involved in agriculture.
Good idea. When is FFA week? It's February, isn't it? Yeah. We'll do something for that too, I hope.
Right,
But yeah, the more immediate thing is, sure, we can figure out how to do that. And
if you're okay with that.
I'm honored, thank you so much.
all right, all we just gotta figure out is the mechanics of it.
Who's gonna drive the boat, I guess I gotta figure out here. Who's
Oh,
gonna be
yeah,
in charge of
we gotta
this?
get the subcommittee on that. together.
Working group, let's call it a working group, because then I don't have
Working
to
group.
Working
advertise.
group, yeah, not so good.
I don't know. I never wrote a proclamation either.
It doesn't-
Working group.
All right, we'll do that.
We're already 7.
Who's we? You got a mouse in your pocket?
Yeah. Me and you and that mouse.
There's 2 right up there. And
I'll
I
do it,
are
I'll work on it too. with
Who?
you. I'll
What?
help you.
Huh?
I'll help with it.
All right. Debbie.
I mean, if you want me, it
Yeah,
doesn't
you had a
matter.
great idea there. You're on it.
Bubba, you can do it.
Bubba.
Yeah, but, yeah.
New FFA member.
Before, after this one then.
All right, cool. All right, whenever y'all want to get together, you're not a quorum, so you can meet at your own pleasure. So,
Just stay seated then. We'll
Right,
get
so-
this done.
So we just do it once a month till the money runs out, and then we'll see it from there, maybe.
Well, I guess, so that's something that you all probably work out, whatever this working group kind of
Okay.
comes up with, is that, do we want to do it for a month? That's a pretty long, it's $800 a month to do, the radio ads for twice a day.
that was twice a day, every
Oh,
day.
no,
though.
we just won't do it.
How about
So if we do twice a day,
once
All right,
or
let the
twice a
working
day
group- we'll
for,
talk about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
All right.
yeah, if you work out the mechanics of it
Okay.
in your working group, then say, okay, we want to do this. But that comes to you just, perhaps we should do a motion vote to say, let the working group make the radio ad, essentially. That way, we're not hung up till the next meeting, and just to make everything
Yeah.
on the up and up. So, a motion to have the working group create and run the radio advertisement.
I
for-
move the working group creates a radio advertisement and come back with their results to us.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There we go.
Okay, go for it. Okay, speaking of that, I wanna ask Dr. Gray down there if she could share her story about some neat ideas she is doing in reference to eating local. Would it put you on the spot to do that?
Well, I hadn't expected it, but no, not at all. I'll be glad to share that. I thought since we're encouraging everyone to eat local, that maybe we should do that. So 3 weeks ago, this is the 4th week, I just decided I'd try it. So I have only eaten products that are, I gave myself local, Oconee County, Pickens County, about a 50-mile radius around Oconee. I've been up to Chattooga Belle, for example, and got all my fruit. But yeah, it's really worked. This time of year, it's an easy time to do that. And I would suggest everyone try that. Just don't eat anything else except what's produced here locally.
I've been missing you.
Do what?
I told her I've been missing her. She's been coming to the
Oh,
market.
okay.
I have. As a result of that, I have visited a lot of the markets. I do grow a few things myself, but I visited markets all through Oconee County and Pickens County, even Greenville.
That's great.
So yeah, it's pretty awesome the amount of food, the different kinds of food that we have at the markets. I did find out one thing though: you do have to ask the farmer if they grew it, and make sure that it was produced on their land. And because some of them have a tendency, if they don't have anything growing on their land, to go out of town to get it somewhere else, which is okay unless you're making an effort to eat locally. But I've not been hungry,
That's a wonderful
Yeah, that's
activity.
great.
so
Wait
Yeah.
till January.
I'm going to be eating the weeds, right?
Start pickling stuff.
A lot of root vegetables in it.
Right, there you go.
May I,
Encouraging
may
those
I,
winter vegetables.
may I share something about what you discovered also in those markets about the
Oh, yeah, you can.
growers? It came up earlier, so it's not totally a surprise. She discovered that a lot of the sellers in Clemson and Easley and 6 Mile or Central or TR or whatever are from Oconee County. Like the swine grower that said she had to go to Clemson because the market was
Right.
better, and we've
Well,
talked
yeah.
about this.
Right. We have 4 farmers that are at the TD Market in Greenville on Saturday mornings.
That's right, I was there.
So there's a challenge. We with this communication and working together thing, each community naturally wants its own market, but it kind of divides the effort, and then some have to go to a bigger market to sell what they have. So some have specialty pork, for instance, and so they have to go to a bigger market. So that's a challenge that we're trying to deal with,
Right.
trying to communicate and get people to pull together, but it's tough. So
I
thank
went
you for
over
that.
there.
That's a great idea, wouldn't that? That's a neat thing,
Yeah,
neat little
kudos to you.
example. Thank you for letting me put you on the spot.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for sharing. Website and brochures,
Once we get all the thing squared away for the Heritage Fair, y'all tell me that they look good or not, then we can start adding stuff to the website, the ag directory, things of that nature. Once we have enough to it, that we have something to really drive people to, because right now it's just the minutes and the agenda. So once we get all the market table stuff squared away and the ag directory, and then we have this infographic, I think we're in pretty good shape
Oh, this looks good.
for content.
okay. Any other items? Go down to invasive pesticide alert system, invasive species and alert system. You want to mention that?
Okay, I'm still working on that. I talked to, is it DeRitter, the
Sharon
grants,
Dritter, yes, ma'am.
grants coordinator here in the county. She got all excited. And we're gonna work on a grant, possibly to, come up with some innovative way to contact, not only beekeepers, but other growers as to, when, pesticides, yeah, because we need, like Leland Gibson, who sells at the TD Market, an organic farmer, if he has chemicals on his land, he loses his certification. People like Bubba that do integrated pest management and that type of thing, if somebody was to come through and spray something at the wrong time, they might not be able to harvest their apples or whatever, or it may interfere with what they're doing. so it's, I'm gonna hopefully work with Clemson University and make Oconee County like the pilot project for something of this nature. So we're still working. I've got to have a meeting with Mr. DeRitter, and that's coming up soon.
Can I make a comment about that? I happened to be in Easley on Saturday, and was talking with someone, and another person came up and said, "Oh, did you get your phone call?" And there was a confirmed case of West Nile virus. Did you hear about that? And so there was an automated phone call.
We're talking about that.
Yeah, an automated phone call to all the citizens. And so I asked about the bees, because of you. And she said, "Oh yeah, all the beekeepers were notified." So they were going to do a spray that night.
We're talking to them about, one of the things she mentioned was a 911 system, that
Right.
we could do reverse 911. That's only one of the ways that we could do that.
See, the DHEC sent out a phone and text message today about anybody that owns dams and waters in South Carolina to check your spillways. Well, I'm sure the emergency system, Oconee County probably is aware of all that, but that went out today too because of upcoming hurricanes. So all those Oconee County schools, phone calls and text and emails once a week, something, it seems like. If you have a student, I'm just telling you. So there's plenty of good systems out there.
Right, so that's what we need to find out, what we got, what we
Sure.
can do, and how we can contact people.
Whether or not they give you time enough, that's the thing. If they're gonna do it like at night and decide on it that morning, there needs to be enough span in there where the beekeepers can do something about it.
Right.
And whoever.
All right, Debbie, while you're on a roll, can we switch old business for new business, and you give us a farm center update, Heritage Fair update?
Well, they're concentrating on the fair right now. They're working very diligently trying to get things prepared to have the fair. So, and it's going along well. I was out there last weekend, I believe, or last Friday, or Friday before last, I believe. Then we're, it'll be ready.
I invited her tonight. She said they have an on-site meeting
Yeah,
going
they're
over
not-
things,
they're
so I'm sure it's gonna be really good. Y'all, have y'all made any new contacts with your groups or added any contact groups to your little nucleus?
I actually have been, and I talked to her today, they're doing something, the 4-H leader for the horses. She is trying to get her groups together so that I'm trying to make sure that we're all on the same page there. So.
Great. And Gwen, speaking of the fair, asked for volunteers, so anybody that can volunteer.
That's what she said the problem was, a lot more work, need more workers.
And do you know what areas?
I don't know, he's just had a load, Stanley has, because a lot of it's been electrical stuff that he's had to do, because we're starting from scratch again, electrical, poles, the works, and then making the driveways, and Saturday they unloaded gravel while we were there, in there, and they were unloading gravel just right next to us. And they were just trying to get everything.
When it's supposed to rain.
Probably.
Oh, no.
Don't talk about it.
I went back through, if y'all will indulge me, I went back through notes and things, and I wanted just to update everybody on the progress, bring everybody up to speed, and maybe people on YouTube that are looking. We did shorten our mission statement based on a recommendation from maybe Debbie or Mr. Howard. So we voted on and approved the shortened mission statement, and it was kind of what I read a while ago, but not exactly. But anyway, it's shortened down so people can see it quickly. On February 13th, 17, Mr. Gordos made a comment to reach out to OEA, Oconee Economic Allowance, on possibly hosting ag-related info on the Oconee, Invest Oconee website. I don't know that we did that, but I can follow up. Also follow up with Ms. Hartman. We had a meeting, and it resulted in these, and I've talked to them again last week about more of these and other variations. They printed 150 of them for us, so we'll get some more, and whatever Adam can get printed too. I'll continue to talk to them and Mr. Shirley about signage. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I saw them actually putting up a sign right across from the Hartwell Village last week, Chattooga River, scenic river that
Yep.
way. And so I will continue talking to them about our entry signs. Letter to Fair Committee and support, they, Stanley and those asked us just hold off, they're good now, so we did do the letter of support to the Heritage Fair Committee. We just hold, on hold. Logo, we have delayed implementing it, so we don't look separative from other groups. We can use Oconee County and farm logos as appropriate. We did vote on the Oconee Grown slogan. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 40 or 50 groups identified, and we have at least 15 or so liaisons to the individual groups. And tomorrow night, I'm requesting council approve an at-large member, probably from Clemson Extension, to fill Mr. Howard's spot. And it's on the agenda, and Adam's drafted up the language for me.
That's correct. So, council will get that tomorrow night. You will, just have to say, hey, please give us, whatever you're gonna say. Don't just like, give it to me. Just whatever you're gonna say. And then they can choose to vote on it or not. And I don't know if it'll take 3 readings. It might. I'm not 100% certain. But, it may take 3 readings total. So that'll be 1 reading every other week. And then it'll become law after that 3rd reading, which is I'm fairly sure how it may work. But because we're adding a position, I don't know that that's not necessarily the process. I'll figure it out. And then after that, we will open up for the application process, which is just literally like a job application form. And then council will vote upon the person that.
And we already have the application in place. It's on the website, I believe. 'Cause
I
we all
believe
had
the
to do-
application is on the website.
We all had to
correct?
do one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then yes.
So, and did we already ask them for money for printing and advertising?
Yes, they did give us $1,000 for the
Okay.
mark table and other things. So we have that. So that's anything I'm printing is coming from that money.
Great, all right. Thank you.
And Ms. Sewell has already printed up, you see the market table cards that you have right
Yes,
there?
those are
She designed
beautiful.
those, print them up.
We're just waiting on our name tags now.
I'll have to tell y'all.
Okay, real quick, I met with Soil and Water District. They're asking our opinion and support on the sewer line and running through, and this is very important. Now, the ramifications are that City of Seneca could take control of run the sewer line, and then they could call that city property, and that would be pretty rough for agriculture. So, we may have to table this, but I want y'all to look at these. That's the letter they sent us a year ago, and it's kind of slipped our mind, I guess, but this is very critical. Take one and pass it in school.
I've never seen this.
And I remember Mr. Hollifield bringing up something about this from the Farm Bureau's point of view, but this is pretty heavy stuff right here. And, this is where the buffer things might come into play. The buffer we have, so let us just consider that and decide when to talk about it, because I think everybody's getting antsy tonight. But we need to, I told them we would look into this and do what we could, because this is pretty serious.
Excuse me, did anybody go to the meeting that Eddie, talked about? Did you go on Thursday?
Go ahead, sir. So am I.
Oh, yeah, that's where I got this,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
how far along are they on that?
Luckily, everything's verbal.
Okay.
Verbal agreement between the city and the county, the city of Seneca and the county. And there's a squabble between who's gonna run it. Before even that was with the sewer authority or the county. So it's kind of a 3-way struggle. So but anyway, I'll let y'all read it and,
Let me ask this, is it a done deal, or is it just?
no.
Okay.
Everything's verbal so far, according to what Mr. Winchester told us. And it's just a huge situation.
And the concern is that they will annex.
Seneca has a rule or an ordinance that if you want to tap onto water or their sewer, they will annex you into the city. If you're contiguous to other city properties, I believe that's the rule.
You can use water lines for annexation purposes. That's how come you see cities all sorts of weirdly shaped.
So they're in favor of annexing everything they can into the city for, I guess, taxation purposes or whatever. I don't say that. But, they're annexing folks in, and they could annex our prime farmland.
But people usually have to choose to be, and so the Seneca can annex. So like, for instance, the there was a property that was going to be, that there was a fight over it being annexed into Clemson, right? So because the developer went and said, hey, we want to be part of Clemson, or Pickens County, Clemson. So they chose that. So you can oftentimes choose it. So another developer off of the road that South Cove Park's on chose to be annexed into the city of Seneca. There's different rules, regulations, things of that nature.
And benefits.
There are definitely benefits. I think perhaps, and this is just off the cuff, I don't know how the city of Seneca operates with agriculture. I can certainly reach out to their planning director and kind of get a feel of any sort of ag involved with city of Seneca. I have no knowledge of that, so.
That'd be good to investigate if you would like to. But let's definitely look at that. And like I said, Mr. Holyfield mentioned this in a previous meeting, but we just have overlooked it. Kim, rodeo impact or lessons learned from your adventure out west, the rodeo in April.
We didn't go this year.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
What about the one in April here? Well, you went one year, you were talking about
This
it.
year, the
So
one here in Oconee.
did you learn anything from that that would apply to us?
Yes, I mean, there's a lot that would apply to us as far as economic impact and agritourism, because that's what that was in, that's what I know. And I can put some more numbers together. I mean, we've discussed it, and matter of fact, I delivered those economic impact numbers to county council, but I mean, I'll be happy to bring them here. I thought we'd already went over them, sorry.
I got a copy of it. I just wondered if you learned anything new or whatever, or how much we made they made in April. But, okay, 2018 goals, we said we had set 3 goals. I won't go back over them, but we, in the 2020 plan, I'm trying to go real fast.
So comprehensive planning, I'll bring it up to you. I'll send you all an email. Some of you are good at emailing back, some of you aren't. But I'm going to email you a list of questions I have for the comp plan as far as taking consultants on a trip around the county and places to hit. So just give me some highlights, places to take people. I'm also acting planning commission, other things like that. But the comp plan is getting off the ground. I'll keep you all informed.
Mr. Howard and Dr. Drake have agreed to speak to the planning commission when it's appropriate.
Excellent.
So let me know. Farm update, Gwen welcomes volunteers, man in the booth, your groups, we already went over that. And Mr. Thornton's efforts, he wanted us to support he wanted our support in his effort. Do we want to send a letter to any of the legislators in support of the hops rule or whatever it was he was talking about?
I had a question, I wasn't here for that, but there hasn't been a bill introduced yet, correct?
No, they've just had some kind of listening sessions and stuff.
Okay.
He's gonna let us know when it's appropriate to, when they're ready.
He
to
will,
send it
okay.
up.
All right, do we want to do that?
When
I think we
time
should.
comes.
Okay.
And let's see what the bill says too. That'd
Yeah,
be
well, that's
important.
true, but I mean, I think we
That's
should
what
be
I was
supportive
asking.
if we can.
What?
The reason I was asking is because I think it would be wise for us to read the bill before we
course.
send a letter of support.
It makes good sense. Okay, that's all I've got. That's the rundown on the last 2 years of work, real quick. So, y'all consider the sewer thing and give us your thoughts, and when you reply, don't reply all.
One thing from the meeting the other night, about the setbacks that you.
Yes.
But you did a great job. I do think that we need to get, and you sent out an email about that. We do need to get together before it goes to the planning commission, I believe, and have, make sure that we have proper verbiage or whatever to go to them, but so it doesn't get
Right.
taken out of, into a direction. I've already had some feedback that's way off base. I'll just say that. We can talk about that later, but we want to make sure that we emphasize that this is to, as a positive thing for the agricultural community, that, we're trying to protect the agricultural community. And I think that's something we probably need to put on the agenda.
Sure.
And discuss it to kind of hash out the language for that before we go to the planning commission.
And Adam will let us know when it's appropriate to do all the above, excuse me.
I'll probably bring it up since it was sent down from Planning and Economic Development to Planning Commission. I'll bring it up to them as, hey, I'm not gonna give them anything. I'm gonna say, hey, this is what got passed on to us. News at 11. I'll get maps and data, statistics. I've already got a pretty comprehensive, Bill Huggins in my office has come up with a pretty comprehensive list of articles showing the necessity for it.
Oh, that was my
That's what
question.
Help and House for as
Yeah.
well, is whatever else you all have. If you know a farmer here, there, elsewhere, even not in this area, even the state, bring it. Let's provide the data.
Did he pull the one where it was, and actually, I didn't send it because of, and we can talk about this later, but it was a noise violation, and it was the Smithfield.
No, but I recall you talking about that, but no, I have, but yeah, anything like that, we can definitely find, so yeah.
Okay.
I did go to the Soil and Water Conservation with Eddie, and we did talk about soil. I got a soil survey, and I got soil maps coming to help us gain strength in our support of saving that land, because it's prime agricultural land. And they also said they have these, they want to print some more. We're welcome to give some of these out at the fair.
There you go.
But, you know, I'm certain that we're more than 92 million.
That's the only.
Because that 2012 shows 137, so we're gonna work on that.
There we go.
Okay. Any other things? Been here a long time. To hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor? Stand up.
Except for the ones that have to do the other.
What?